Welcome to Awakening Warriors podcast, where we talk about life, learning, lessons, and love.
Life, love, lessons, and learning.
Last podcast of the year, 2023. Last day of the year today.
First one to get released in the new year.
I know, yeah, I was just thinking about that. Because I post them on Mondays. So we're wrapping it up today on the last day of the year, and then it will be published on the first day of the year.
How exciting for you.
So, yeah, I just asked him what we were going to talk about, and he said, what'd you say? A wrap-up of the year?
Recap of the year.
Recap.
So you had a lot to do. You switched jobs.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, if I went back to January of last year.
Of this year.
Oh yeah, of this year.
I'm gonna have fun today.
It's because we had moved in October, so a year ago, or not a year ago, in January of this year, we had only been here for
2 months.
No, we moved here on October 1st, so all of
3 months.
October, all of November, all of December. So yeah, still kind of new. You were already kind of in the swing of things because you started right away when we got here with work.
Yeah.
And then I was working at one place for a little bit, and towards the end of October, I started that, so I'm trying to think.
So you went from DCI to Rising Hope, and that transition happened.
That happened in
basically
June, though.
Yeah.
In my brain, I'm timeline in this. So nothing too exciting happened in January. We were still in the swing of moving. February, we went snowmobiling in Rhinelander. We tried to do it somewhat of a halfway with his dad and us, and Rhinelander was. So we'll probably be traveling to Michigan again in the UP to do that because UP Upper Peninsula snowmobiling is great. We got lots of rain. I don't know. It was still fun though. It's always fun to get away and.
Truck was fucked up on that trip.
Yeah, so that was kind of stressful just because we didn't know what was going on. There was a noise happening on our way there. Kind of a lot of the way there, and then tried to figure it out and had some people look at it and talk to some different people, and it I don't know. It was just for me scary because somebody along the way said something about it could blow up basically, but then Paul was like, no, you could do that forever. I don't know. There's just that trip was interesting, but it was still just.
It said the bearing was a grenade.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Grenade. But, so yeah, I had a lot of rain on that trip. That was the first time that we had the lady who watches our dogs watch our dogs, so that was fun. We kind of jumped into that one head first because that was a full week of us being gone. And we were hopefully all is well. And it was. And then, during this time you were working on the casino, right?
Yeah, I was letting you do your thing first about your, whatever.
Well, yeah, I'm moving through, so I was about to get to March, but at this point you're still working on the casino in January, February.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with you, that has to do with me.
I know, I'm not going to go all the way through the year. We're going to both do January, talk about it, February, talk about it.
We need to come up with a game plan before we do these.
I just came up with it. Just roll with it. You are normally the leader, and I'm leading now, so let me do it, and we'll see how it goes. Would you like to do it?
I'm letting you lead. Fuck, go.
Well, I'm waiting. I'm talking the casino. I wasn't there every day. You were, so.
I got the casino going and just working in the casino in January and February. I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying.
I don't know.
I was just gonna go over my profound whatevers. I wasn't gonna go by a fucking day by day type of thing personally.
Okay, well then go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, our brains are working differently, and you can do yours, and I did part of mine.
No, I want you to do yours. I let you go off with your thing first. And
I'm not going to talk the whole time, though, about my year. I'd rather have conversation throughout the whole thing.
About the year. But you say, hey, I switched jobs to here, and this is the positive benefits. I really didn't like doing this, and I like doing this, and I learned about this. I don't want to give a fuck. You're struggling today, I can tell. But anyways, I guess I'll lead off and set the example. So started out the year as a 100% employee, working as a W-2 income, and then had the opportunity to partner. So that was exciting and fun. Built out the Rowdy Ram. So then that kind of changed some dynamics. So just between my relationship with my boss and stuff, because now we're partners and I'm an employee. So switched up some dynamics. And then that was probably the first thing that I had accomplished this year, was getting that up and going, and that opened up in April. And then let's see, summer went well. Just extremely busy with standard working with the hotel and the W-2 side of things. And then kind of was obviously like, this isn't the goal, so I ended up starting up Bullseyes and Birdies, and kind of officially decided I wanted to do that in July. Oh yeah, definitely July, and then I took over the lease in August. So, and then we had that up going by October, late October, mid-October, and then in September, and we ended up buying the motel, which has been quite the experience. Haven't really done a lot with it outside of just maintaining the operation of it. I haven't done anything. I guess we did a little bit of electrical work and stuff, but outside of that, I learned that as far as that side of things go, I probably want to do long-term leases down the road. I'm not going to force it right now, but it's just a lot of turnover right now, and then the quality of your tenant kind of goes down when you're doing month to month. So, but most people are pretty decent. I say probably about 50% of my tenants are good, and then the other 50 are so-so. So, and then we partnered with Derek, which has been very beneficial for myself and the business. And then I got let go of my job. So I think those are obviously like work related things. So those aren't necessarily like my year in a whole. So
clearly,
I feel like you're so grumpy.
the grumpiest.
I probably, as far as my goals that I had written down, I failed at the majority of them. I feel like this year kind of got sloppy. I got undisciplined in a lot of aspects. I did not read as many books as I wanted to. I think I read, if you count the one as a one, I think I read like 12 books or something like that. And then the other thing was I was supposed to run the 100-miler, which the only reason I didn't attempt that and do that was because of injury. Otherwise, I started training and I was going through the motions to get prepared, but doing the work. But things happen, so that was just unfortunate timing. I forgot what starting a personal brand was one of my goals this year. So I didn't technically start a personal brand, but I did start, Bullseyes and Birdies, which is a brand. So that one I kind of hit. I didn't nail it, dead on, but I did accomplish creating a brand itself. So I think I need to do a little more deeper inner work before I create a personal brand. But you have things to share and say?
Good combo. See how it's very one-sided for
Well,
a
then
bit?
you can pop in and say things like that, and like, you know, because you're like, for
Thank
instance.
you. I know I've done a few podcast episodes in my life. I know how to have a conversation.
So like, you know, like, yeah, I transitioned from DCI to.
Well, clearly you want me to
Rising
start
Hope
there.
and-
So, yeah, I moved
Hope in
from one
June.
position, I don't need to call
And-
anybody out anyway, to another position, to a totally different company. And the one I started with was community mental health. So, community mental health is very I mean, anywhere in mental health right now, there is a lot of need and not enough therapists, like across the board. When I was in Michigan, that was the case, and here in South Dakota, that's the case. But community mental health is like very much bombarded with like complex, chronic cases, I guess we could say. They're also very heavily like Medicaid clients, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's just a difference in, like, I even have Medicaid clients now, but there's just a difference in how clients show up and like the experiences that they have and how that influences and impacts their experience now. And so I was there at my first place for only 7 months. I think I started end of October, and by end of May I was done. And I found out that was not for me. It was just very overwhelming. There was, I don't know. I mean, people do it. There are people there that have worked there for a long time.
Well, and on top of that, when you jumped into that particular job, your previous experience was strictly children with sexual trauma. So
Yeah,
that was
kids
a
and
whole
teens.
nother, that was a whole nother dynamic that, you know, not only is it just like broadening your whole thing, you're also starting probably at the lowest point of, you know, clientele.
What makes kids and teens lowest?
Not kids and teens, I'm talking about your children. You're starting here, you're specialized with kids and teens, and then you're going to not only, you know, broadening outside of kids and teens, you're also going to the lowest, you know, cognitive level of, you know, individuals in broadening that. So you're changing two dynamics. You're changing the fact that now you're not just working with kids and teens, but you're also working with all of society, but now you're also working with the lowest cognitive of society. Odds are.
And that's why I said, like, there's nothing wrong with having Medicaid, but just generally speaking, they have lower socioeconomic statuses, so they're not making as much money. That's why they're on Medicaid, which then comes with its own host of issues. But yeah, so I went general because then I saw all ages and all different like diagnoses. It was no longer just trauma. And then I was seeing all different ages and stuff. So I learned that like community mental health wasn't for me, but the generalized portion I am like now okay with. I felt really stressed out starting there to begin with because I only felt comfortable with kids and teens. But now that I have the wide range of ages on my caseload, like I really appreciate that because I still really like my kids and teens, but I appreciate the adults as well, and it's nice kind of switch up that I'm not always seeing kids or teens. I'm not always seeing adults. I like that I have a variety now, and I feel way more comfortable working with adults in different issues because of that job too. So as much as it was stressful, and by the time I was ready to leave, I also learned a ton in that time because it was like drinking from a water hose in terms of like clients and issues and all of that stuff. And so I like had no choice but to figure it out really fast and have been able to bring that knowledge with me where I am now. But yeah, I mean, that change was good. I was like definitely stressing out at that point, but like wasn't necessarily looking for anything else. And then because of people who we know, a connection had been made. TZ reached out and was like, hey, I heard this lady who wants to like move her counseling place into Mitchell. Like, here's her number. I gave her your number, and then we connected, and now that's where I'm at. And I really enjoy it. And I'm working less and making more, which who doesn't like that? So, really good switch, for sure.
It's funny how those things work out. Like, for instance, the serendipity of life. When you sit back and reflect on life, which most people just do that in like a negative side of things. They like, you know, relive their traumas or, you know, their death, any of their traumas specifically, I guess. But like, for example, death of their parents, or their cat died, or their dog died, or, you know, like whatever it was, they got in a car accident, and they unconsciously relive those moments. But if you sit back and reflect and say like, okay, let's take a look at this year. Let's take a look like intentionally and reflect and see like, what did I learn? Where was it? Where did I go? Where did I come from? And stuff like that. Like I feel like looking back, like as it was going, I feel like I was busy all the time. I'm fucking working my dick off and stuff, but I didn't really feel like I was accomplishing much. But it's in the day to day. But now 365 days later, as I review my specifically my work side of things, I'm like, wow, holy fuck, I started up the Rowdy Ram. I worked a full-time job. I started up Bullseyes and Birdies. I bought a hotel. Like, I'm like, boom, 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 and all these accomplishments that I did over the course of 1 year. Like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And you can reflect in all areas of life like this. You're reflecting in your work right now as well, but like, what about our relationship? Did that grow or did that die? Because either you're growing or dying at the end of the day. So no matter what. So if you take a couple steps forward or you're taking a couple steps back every day, and then evaluate at the end of the year and see where you're at. So I think for me this year was definitely dedicated to work. Unfortunately, fortunately, at the end of the day, that's what I came out here to do. So I'm not surprised. But I also don't like looking back and seeing like, feeling like I only did work or only focused on work throughout the fucking year. So
We had some play in there. Like I said, we went snowmobiling.
Yeah, I'm not talking about play though. I'm talking about like spiritual growth and like, cognitive growth. So I feel like I might have grown a little bit. I feel like I probably went back a little bit in certain areas. Like my drinking picked up, so that's a negative thing. That's like obviously a spiritual downer. So like, yeah, I did really good on work, but then I take a look at my drinking habits, and spiritually, like, that's probably not a positive thing. That's a few steps back in my personal opinion. So, and you gotta be raw with yourself and like honest, like, okay, like, does that make you feel good? Does it not make you feel good? Or does it whatever. Does it make you feel good? Does that not make you feel good? But you're just sitting there with the honest truth. Did I gain 10 pounds or did I lose 10 pounds? Was it muscle or was it fat? Blah 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 blah. So my health overall probably there's probably a minimal move forward or backward, I would say, overall. So in some things I solved problems because now I understand my SI joint problems a little better, and my SI joint's operating better, so my health aspect there. But also again, drinking habits, take it back. But again, now I've limited my carbs and so on and so forth. Typically, like so, there's pulls and there's giving and taking, pushes and pulls. So
there's yeah.
So my spiritual side of things, I feel like I didn't do as well, but not every year is gonna be fucking awesome in every aspect. Like I can't have a fucking killer. It's a lot of people want a balanced life, but it's not possible to have a balanced life.
Right. In theory, there can be balance, but like we listen to people on podcasts and stuff, and like balance is bullshit because when you're like if you're heavy in work, then other areas are lacking.
It just depends. You can't. Yeah, you're gonna have areas where you drop the ball on them because you're focused. You're prioritizing other areas, which is 100% necessary. Like it's impossible. Right. So obviously you can't just let this thing completely fall to the wayside. But maybe I'm putting 20% in my marriage, and then fucking 80% or say 60% into work, and then fucking 10 to 15% of my health. And all those percentages throughout the year will switch and rotate and change. Depending on the season of life, essentially. But I'm in the season of life where I'm young. If I have children, I want to make sure that I'm like relatively. I can be there. I don't have to be tied to a fucking job while my kid's sports game's going on and so on and so forth. So I have to put in the fucking work now. So that might mean my relationship might suffer some, or my spiritual sense might suffer some, but it's, it's not in vain. So it's with good intention. So, and it's not like I'm just absolutely like letting everything fall to the wayside, but it's, like it's, these things will not be prioritized as much.
Mm-hmm.
So what else you got?
I don't know. I was just thinking that, like, as an entrepreneur, and this year for you, like you already said, has been very heavy in work, where my work as an employee, like, I don't know, is different. Just in the sense that I don't have as much going on as you do. And I don't even know, I mean, reading-wise, like, I just posted I read 15 books this year, which was not the 20 that I had planned. So going into next year with 20 in mind again.
I think my best was like 21 or 22 or something.
Yeah, I've had over 20 at some point.
Yeah. But again, like, it's not even, like, some years you're going to be reading all the time, and some years you're not, so.
Health-wise, I mean, obviously I'm right there with you with the drinking more, so I don't feel unhealthy, but, like, the choices that I'm making are not negatively influencing my body. I feel like except for the past, I don't know, when did our working out decrease? After the trainer part. The past couple months has been a little bit loose, but I feel like prior to that, because once we got our home gym up and running, I feel like we were, like, pretty consistent for a very long time.
Oh yeah, we fucking killed it throughout the year in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
there was about 6 weeks after I quit the program, or after I finished the program, that we just, like, did not go to the gym at all.
Well, you, like, took a week off because you were like, I just need a break. Like, because you did 3 months, right, with the trainer?
Yeah.
So, like, and
they're hard workouts.
They were hard workouts, and they were, like, towards the end
5
there,
to 6
like,
days a week.
Yeah, consistently.
Like, dude, I'm fucking so over this.
And so, like, a month or 6 weeks or somewhere into his working out with this trainer, I was like, why wouldn't I also, like, I'll just do what you're doing on those days. And so I was also, like, picked up my working out there for a little bit, and then afterwards you were like, I just need a break, dude. And then, like, that week turned into, like, 2, and then 2 turned into
3,
like,
and then 4, 30
no,
days.
I don't think there was, like, a straight month.
Oh yeah, it was a month, dude. It was a fucking month. Yeah, we can look back in the calendar if you want. My calendar, I fucking track them.
I feel like we had like 1 or 2 workouts there. Whatever. It just got way kicked to the back burner, wayside, whatever. And now we're, like, getting back into it again.
Yeah.
I'd say the past, like, 2 weeks maybe. Oh no, because we were gone. So the week before, and then we were gone, and then I feel like now again we're still, like, into it. So.
Yeah, so I feel like, like I wasted it. But the best thing when I hired that trainer, the best thing, one, it, like, helped me just do different stuff. So it threw me, he had me doing different things and pushing me harder than what I would normally push myself and stuff like that. So that was good. But that only lasts for so long because I haven't continued doing the hard stuff, as many hard things as he has me doing, and the workouts aren't the same now that I'm not following his program or whatever. But one of the best things are probably the getting rid of most of the bread, I will say.
Right.
Now
we still have it here and there. Like, we had a garlic bread last night, but before it would be like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There would be like a carb.
Oh yeah,
like,
shit ton.
We were having
sandwiches,
bagels. We were having chips and sandwiches. We were doing.
Yeah, we probably, I bet I cut out over 100 carbs every single day, easy. Every single day. That's a fuck ton of carbs, dude. And I can't, that's why I'm annoyed that I'm, like, not shredded as fuck.
There was a while when, because you were like, God, I feel like I'm getting fat. And then you're like, what if it's the breakfast sandwiches? Because we were doing breakfast sandwiches with bagels, like, every single morning.
And it's like 35 grams of carbs every morning.
It's a lot.
Yeah, just on that. And, not to mention, like, if I have a burger.
Was it 35? I feel like it was 55.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway.
I know a lot. It could be 55. So I feel like that was one of the things that I took away from the health specifically was, like, that it helped me food combine / just cut out carbs in general. So, like, that was really positive. So I can take that away from 2023 and, live that through the rest of my life. Like, I still eat that stuff, when I go out to eat, but, like, I make a conscious a conscious choice to do, pretty much just meat and vegetables at this point. So, and like obviously today is an exception, and the holidays are an exception. So, but day to day living, like not putting too much pressure on it, like I do really
Right.
well. So,
So yeah, I mean, my working out has recently been a little bit wonky, but overall has been very consistent, I feel like, over the year. I feel like relationship wise, there are some things that we both have gotten worse at, but other aspects that we've gotten maybe closer to being on the same page. Like, we're still not on the same page with everything because we're two different humans. We probably won't ever be with everything.
I feel like we're off right now for whatever reason you got going on.
Right, because it's just me in this relationship. It doesn't take two people to have a connection or not. So.
Yeah, but I can't force a connection. You're off today in general, so it's like
I'm just like, I don't know. You keep saying off. There's no off or on track. I'm just.
you know what I
I'm
mean.
a little bit sensitive, and I also kind of just feel like being feisty. I'm very like hot and cold. That's what I am. Like very, because like I was
You're
grumpy.
off.
No, there's not off. It just is. I was grumpy in the truck with you and then told you I didn't want to spend time with you. And then literally when we were like in the store from where I had just said that I'm like grabbing your arm and like whatever. So I'm just very hot and cold with you today. But like that's also part of being in a relationship. Like you're gonna have disconnection. You're not gonna be on the same page. Again though, I think overall there's like topics that we have breached into, gotten into this year that have been good, I guess. There are things that because you have been very like work heavy focused that like, and we never have really been super great at doing date nights and things like that, but it's
Yeah,
just.
but I also feel like our relationship, I know they say to do date nights, but our relationship is very different than most in general. Like, when most people talk about date nights, like that's because that's the only time they get to alone to themselves because they have kids or they have whatever, they have this, they have that. Like I don't go to fucking guys' night. I'm not in golf league. I don't fucking do all this other shit. Like it's either I'm home with you or I'm at work. I'm home with you or even you're at work with me. Like it's not like
Right,
so
which is a different dynamic though than being on a date with each other.
Yeah,
I still
but
think that like.
sure, that's why I don't particularly prioritize that thing because I don't see that. You
don't see the value.
I don't see the exchange of value. Yeah, yep. But if you were like, oh my god, you can plan a date night if you.
I know. We just talked about that,
Okay.
and I even know. Bro, I already said we're not very good generally about date night. I didn't say it was bad. I'm just saying because obviously if that was something that I was pushing, that would also happen. Like, you know that. If that's something I really freaking wanted from you, I'd be like, this weekend we're going out. Like, I want to go out. I want to go, like, and we did, like, even on Friday, but obviously that was a little bit different. But, yeah, I don't know. I think trying, comparison you say is good. Trying also not to compare, like, past versions of us to now versions of us because, like, this is who we are. And we've talked about this, too, that there have been times in our relationship when we've been a lot more connected or, like...
I feel like we're just slightly off just because of, circumstances these past couple of weeks. Otherwise, before we went to Michigan, I feel like we were much better off. We were pretty much in the flow.
And that too.
And then that threw everything off. So.
And that, I mean, throughout the year, that's probably even the case. Even if we hadn't left Michigan, like if we're, I don't know, we're just. That's what relationships do. There's like ebb and flow and.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Now,
I'm just telling you why it's currently happening.
Thank you. Right now, we're ebbing.
Yeah, whereas before we were flowing. So let's break this down to Sean stuff. Power, passion, purpose, and production. Production I already went over with me. You already basically went over to you. Passion, basically, as far as passion and our stuff, I feel like our relationship might have suffered slightly, but we've also had some decent breakthroughs in general. So the connection piece might be not there currently, but the overall depth has probably deepened.
Yeah, I would agree. For those who don't know, power, passion, purpose, production, you did production, so that's like business stuff, work stuff. passion is relationships, so ours, but also, I mean, you've made
Also
some
others. Yeah, and
cool connections this year, I think.
yeah, I've made some. You know, Derek has been a huge influential character, or character in my life at this point. Um,
I don't know how long you've known Becca, but like she's somebody who came into our life and like quickly I think we connected pretty
Yeah.
well and like deeply with.
yeah, and even I did. And I
Mhm.
don't connect with chicks too well, so.
He's got high expectations for everybody, not just me and himself. And Maddie, I don't know if I
Maddie's cool. But
when I met her.
More your individual, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, I just went out pheasant hunting for the first time. That was 2 days ago, so that was kind of a fun experience, learning how to do that. So I feel like my network here is just so much better in certain areas.
I feel like it's maybe more quality here. Like you had a ton of people in Michigan. You knew a guy for everything. But in terms of like
I feel like
friends.
These people, I feel like my network is worth a lot more, like, financially at this point. I don't have a deep relationship with everybody, but I have like I have people that I actually want to know and want to build deeper relationships with here, you know, because of who they are and you know how they live their life and stuff like that. So I feel like obviously I've only been here for a year, so like how deep can obviously some relationships go really fast, but you know you're not working with this person every day, you're not doing these things, so then you know your relationship can only go so far so fast with in a year. So that's so this year we're gonna jump fucking ships real quick here for a second. My word was vulnerability, which I feel like I probably didn't do extremely well. I never really necessarily forgot about the word, but I never either I didn't fucking like make I didn't bring it to the forefront of my mind in opportunities. So I wanted to be. I did in some ways. Like when I remember I did that podcast with Josh. Like telling story straight out and all that other stuff. I don't know. I think I don't know. I obviously I feel like I failed at that word for the most part at the end of the year. Some years I do really good with words, like when I chose flow. I did really, really good with that word for the year. And then what was the word before? Perspective. Perspective was last year, and I feel like I did really, really good with that word too. But I feel like I did not do well with vulnerability. But this is, I mean, fuck, the past 2 years I did really good, and this is the first year that I did kind of, in my opinion, shitty on, making sure that I focused on the words, so.
My word was surrender, and I literally forgot it. Like, couldn't tell my nail tech what it was, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure it starts with an S, and so then I asked him, and he's like, surrender, and I'm like, yes! I knew it started with an S! So I was like, clearly, I have not been doing well this last part of the year with that. I feel like it was more in the forefront of my mind at the beginning of the year, and that you were also like...
Yeah, keeping you accountable
pointing it out,
that.
yeah.
Because, you're always, like, trying to control all the fucking situations, like, like having to blow out the candle or whatever. Or,
I didn't when we left, and then he was like... But...
This year, I haven't determined yet. I made a list of a few. I was thinking either relationship, gratitude, what are the other ones?
I feel like gratitude would be an easy one for me, which means I shouldn't do it.
I forgot what the other ones were. I'd have to look at my thing, and it's upstairs. I wrote down a list of like 3 or 4 words that I feel like I'm soft and that I need to kind of focus. Relationship originally came to mind when I was in Michigan because I was just like talking to Paul, talking to Ben, talking to Justin, and like so I was like, man, they need to really like focus on fostering relationships. I feel like. and that's why that came into mind. And then I don't know. It's not that I'm like ungrateful. It's just that I'm not grateful. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the middle. I'm neutral. You know. So it's really like last night when I was going to bed, I was thinking like, you know, okay, I want to start saying things that I'm grateful for. Like every night before I go to bed to like try to program my mind. Like if I want to do it, well, they say you should do that first thing when you wake up. But I feel like it's going to be much easier for me to lay into bed and focus on things that I'm grateful for rather than get up and try to focus on something I'm grateful for. And then theoretically that should help program my subconscious mind anyways because, I'm going to bed. But like when I think about things like, sometimes like the only time I'm really, really grateful is like when I just accomplish something really hard or something shit like that. Like, for instance, when I completed the, 100-miler, like I am like, it's not even, I don't even know if it's a word of gratefulness, but it's like a relief. Like that's what I think of. Like it was so fucking horrible that you're just like, but like on the other aspect of that too though, like it was so fucking wonderful. Like that's what I feel like gratefulness should be. And maybe it's my perspective and like my high expectations of like gratefulness or just in general anyway. So maybe it's just my high expectations that I don't think I'm grateful or that I don't understand how to be grateful. Because I feel like I should be up here when really I'm just like right here and I need to find somewhere like right here. I don't know.
And that's why I feel like gratefulness would be kind of easy for me because there are moments when like I'm just like, and it's small things usually, like big things yes, but like small things, like when I posted Christmas morning, like the song on the vinyl player and the warm drink in my hand and all our animals around me, like those like little things, like literally was just like, oh my gosh, I'm like so grateful for like this moment and this day and
What's gratefulness like? Obviously I can describe you my sensations of anxiety, but what sensations of gratefulness? Like my chest gets tight, I get like fucking tense.
So I feel lots of emotions in my chest, so I also feel it there, but it's like it's not constricting, it's more like open feeling and like warm fuzzies kind of. Like it just feels like I still feel it here. But as I'm talking about it, I can even almost feel it. It's where like anxiety is like tight and kind of heavy and like, ugh. Like the gratefulness that I feel there is like warm and I don't know how to explain it. Expansive-y? Almost like a cloud versus like.
So that's what makes me think that I've never experienced it, or I'm not that I never experienced it, that I don't consistently experience it or something.
And then it'll even like bring tears to my eye, like even just now saying like remembering Christmas morning, like.
Because I'm like trying to mentally be grateful. Like I'm thankful for my bed. I'm thankful for my cat. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for my money. So I just like things that I'm supposed to be grateful for. But I'm just like going through. I can conceptually understand, but I'm just like, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that.
Well, and those are like, because there were times when I was writing,
I did
like
too.
Gratitude lists, and there were times when it was like going through the motions.
There's another book, The Secret. What was it called? The Gift. It's called The Gift or something, I think. I don't remember what it's called, but it's by the same person, Rhonda, whatever I believe her name is.
Burns or something?
Yeah. The same person that wrote The Secret. She wrote another book, and I read that, and then it made you, because I did do that. The Magic, yeah. I had to do that. I did that for, I don't know, months, and I would write it down, and then I would have a list every morning, so then I would do it. But it just, I don't know, it didn't work for me.
But even those, because I think that's better than nothing. I mean, you're still, like, yes, you're going through the motions, and you may not feel that warm fuzzy with every single one you write down, but you're still programming, you're still bringing things that, like, you do appreciate, whether maybe that's a big grateful word, or it's like, yeah, I do like having my cat around. Like, maybe gratefulness is a spectrum, and that's just on the lower spectrum that isn't evoking all of these big emotions that come with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, my word, I haven't decided on one, but I think it would probably be helpful to pick something along the lines of like fun or lightheartedness or I want to ask AI to give me synonyms for those. I haven't yet because I think I take things too seriously sometimes. And when I'm like lighthearted and fun, which isn't super often, but like there was one morning when we were down here working out and like you were getting like pissy and I was just like able to like stay lighthearted and goofy within myself, and I was like, is this how it is for you? Like, this is so nice. Like, I'm not attached to you being grumpy. I legit find it kind of funny that like you're pissy. Like, this is so nice. And not that I think that that's the only reason why I want that. I think just in general I take things seriously, and I think I like can get excited more than you can, but like that tends to be short-lived and has conditions around it, and I'd rather just like work on taking, like I say, life is a comedy, but then I don't like embody that. So something along those lines. Oh, the other one that popped in my head when you were talking about it was discipline. I think that one could be very good for me as well.
Yeah, I think you should focus on being lighthearted.
I think that will have more generalizable, helpful impacts. So, something along those lines.
Yeah, and if I were to do, I already have a general idea. Like, if I was going to focus on relationships, I was going to try to like focus on like fostering certain relationships. Like, hey, you want to go do this? Hey, do you want to go do that? And then being like very present with those individuals when I'm talking to them, and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I haven't. Both of them could be very beneficial for me. So, but when in those particular moments, I was like, "Wow, relationships." But then I'm like, "Man, I should really be grateful." It's just like gratitude is just such an incredible thing to have, and I feel like I have minimal of it.
And it's such a strong energy too. Oh yeah, jumping back on the shit. So we did passion and production. So power, that would be our body. So we already talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've definitely, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not like power building super freaking strong, but I feel like I noticed maybe more this year, and maybe it's just because I've paid attention more, but like functional strength. I think I've always been like your partner in lifting the fridge out of here, the dishwasher there, or whatever, but I think maybe more I've just become aware of how all of that in the gym applies to functional strength, which I think is really cool, because like even getting off the floor, it's like some high percentage of people can't get off the floor without using their hands, like simple things. And yoga's been super, super consistent in our power wheelhouse, which I think has been good.
That was another thing for my list. I was supposed to do it 2 to 3 times a week, but I typically, and I started out doing it twice, but then they canceled the yin thing. So in the beginning, I was doing it 2 times a week. I just have no desire to do it at home. It's just not my thing. I enjoy doing it at their studio or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I don't know. Ideally, I'll probably do it like once a week this week, and then twice a week the next week, and then just kind of rotate, and do it, 1 3 1 3.
Average, we hit twice a week, no once a week. Because there were weeks, obviously, we weren't here, but then in the beginning of the year, we were doing it twice, and sometimes I think you went to a couple Saturday classes too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Overall, and we probably hit them over 1 time a week for sure, but not by much. So. But.
And then purpose. So that's like the more spiritual side.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. Right now I feel like it's kind of a shitty time to do this, because I just, going back and seeing my family and all that stuff, it was just very stressful. I let all the fucking dumb shit get to me, and everything else.
Because he doesn't believe in boundaries.
And, so, well...
Your words, not mine.
I did really good in the beginning, and I did really good the whole fucking time in general.
Until you weren't there.
The shit just fucking wears on you. Like, I fucking hate it. Like, I'm like, oh my god, these fucking people. This is exactly why, like, just seeing where I came from, going back and, like, fucking seeing that stupid shit, it's just like, wow, I'm glad that I'm here, but I'm still, like, the residual energy. It's kind of like I went to that stupid fucking, and I don't even know why it happened. I should evaluate that and reflect on that a little more. Like, for instance, my ego wanted to fight the $100 ticket and not pay it because I said, fuck you, that's bullshit. And then it cost me more than my $100 was worth. Energetically, it fucked me up. Because I'm in this place, and all these, like, dumb motherfuckers, criminal ass pieces of shit are just in there, and they're in handcuffs, and they're doing this, and they're doing that, and they're fucking all this other dumb shit. And I'm in there for a speeding ticket. And I'm like evaluating my life, and I set the fucking thing. I was like, I'm gonna be there till 11, and then I'm fucking out of here regardless. I'll just pay the fucking ticket and move on with my life, because like it's just not good. It's creating sensations of anxiety, and then like I'm just trying to like block all this stuff out that they're doing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what? These people just have a laundry list of like dumb shit over and over and over again. Anyways, it got to me. And so I was like, okay, well, that was a very poor decision. And, so then I went to, back to Michigan. Like,
I was going to say, was that immediately before we left? Like, the day before we left?
Like, yeah, Thursday, and we left Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I kind of bounced back on a little bit on that fucking Friday before we got there. And then I think I was like so-so the first couple days, and it wasn't that bad. And then as time progressed, it just wore on me. Like just the events and circumstances and behavior of, my family and everything else. And it just like, I was like, okay. And I was fucking over it by like Wednesday. And then, yeah, I still had fucking 3 days left. So then it just kept fucking wearing on me. And so, yeah, here I am. And I still have some of that residual energy on me right now. Now we're a week past, so cause now we've been home for a week.
To get it together.
Yeah, so but it just is what it is. I'm annoyed, and I wish that it wasn't like I wasn't ending my year like this. But I'm also like, okay, now I can be aware and so on and so forth, so I can be prepared for this upcoming year. So.
And I don't know. Purpose-wise, we've been meditating pretty regularly.
We didn't there for about the 6 weeks. As long as our gym's in check, our meditation is in check.
Yeah, kinda. Because did you meditate at your parents' house at all?
Like once or twice.
Yeah, I think I did twice.
But if we're going to the gym, it's a little
they're
gym.
normally just connected usually.
Yeah.
Which Atomic Habits, he tells you that to link it to another habit you're already doing. I think so. I haven't done any, and we're not in a place, so I don't think for me to do this anyway, but any like courses in a while. And I think when I do those, I'm much more aware of my inner workings and diligent about being on point with purpose when it comes to like that more spiritual stuff. So I feel like at the beginning of the year, I probably did some of those. I haven't in a minute, but.
All those courses you can write off too, just a heads up. For Tahoma or whatever. So get a list of all that.
Ugh, they just gave me a yucky feeling in my belly. Just to find it all and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like
so
over it.
I feel like this year was really good in a lot of things, and then so in other things. I think we took a couple step backs in certain areas, but they weren't even necessarily full step backs, because we still, still grew and learned in certain areas of that one thing, but yet we might not be as disciplined on it or something like that. So I intend to, and this is probably the first year that I haven't gone into all fucked up the next day. Like, and I think it landed out perfect. Like, I had my fun on Friday, and I don't know, the past couple of years, like when it comes to this day, New Year's Eve, usually I'm like, yeah, let's go party, blah blah blah. But always in the back of my mind, I'm like, now because I listen to these other people, You're starting your year out, hungover. You're starting your year out all fucked up and all that jazz. And I'm like, that makes sense. But I never did anything about it because it was always on a Friday or it was always on a Saturday. Well,
I don't know, like a Sunday. That's such a weird day.
This year is a Sunday, so I'm using it to my advantage. I thought about just saying, hey, fuck it, we'll still go out and do something. But I was like, no, let's go out the one day, like a Friday or something, and go have fun and, cut loose and whatever else. Because I'm not ready to, eventually I'll probably give up all alcohol completely, but I'm just not in a point where in my life that I'm like ready to do that at this point. So, I'll just mindfully self-sabotage. That's what that kind of comes down to. Because I don't drink for fun, or I don't drink just to drink. Like I don't drink for the taste. Like I drink to catch a buzz and let's go type of thing. So, but yeah, maybe 2025 will be that year, but fuck it ain't gonna be 2024 right now unless something changes. Maybe I'll have an energetic shift or something that'll, change that. But, yeah, I haven't gone over my goals for 2024 yet. I'm still kind of, reviewing those things, seeing what I want to get out of 2024. I'm in this weird space, which I don't like, of not knowing what I'm going to do, which... It's usually, I always know what I'm going to do. I always have a plan, and this one kind of threw me through a loop.
That's not true.
What's that?
You don't always know what you're going to do. You didn't know what you were going to do right before I moved here.
Oh,
you
yeah.
were like, what am I going to do?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, normally I always know what I'm going to do. There's only been a couple times, like this is only probably the second time in my life and I didn't know what I was going to do. Like...
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the third.
Yeah.
Probably like 18 to 21 after I got let go from Dematic, and then kind of just jumped back and forth from like construction and other stuff, and then like last year, because I'd always had something in between there, and then this year. So I feel like, I don't know. It is what it is, and I just don't. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I don't know. It's not that I don't know. I'm okay with not knowing. It's the point where I feel like I'm unproductive. Like I feel like I'm not going anywhere, which is my problem. I feel like I have to be constantly moving, and I feel like I'm standing still right now, and that's not okay with me.
Your answers come in stillness, though.
Yeah, I know.
And this like in between time might be necessary, or wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I'm sure it's necessary. I just have a lot of resistance towards it, so I just don't know. Yeah. We'll see. I've been trying to accept it, but I've also been like trying to just keep my mind busy so I don't fucking have to think about my lack of production. So, well, yeah. And it's just an awkward time anyways because I can't start anything because I went to Michigan and now I'm home for like 2 weeks and then I'm going to Mexico and then I'm fucking, yeah, so it's just weird. But, what are your goals for 2024 outside of reading 20 books?
Be fun.
That's a good one. That should be your only goal. Christ. 12 years, 13 years later, and you're finally fun?
Yeah, right.
That'd be fucking awesome. It only took you half your life, over half your life. Alrighty. Well.
Well, now I'm just thinking, and then also thinking about how annoying you are. This is what I have to deal with, everyone. This is probably why I'm not fun. Look at what I gotta deal with. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I gotta focus on my goals this week. Kind of figure out what I want to do. So
We've heard.
Come back. Next week, next podcast, we'll have a word officialized, and our goals, which I'll help you write yours. So
Perfect. Then I don't have to do it.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, outside of
Nope. See
No,
what
just
I'm
stop
alright,
for a
buddy.
minute.
Nope.
outside of like books and like personal stuff, like how do I goalize being an employee? I mean, get 20 clients a week every week. That's a goal.
I think you need to start a personal brand. That'd be my thing. Like something on Facebook that, like, here's your little thing, and you can start a group if you wanted to. You don't have to monetize it or put it officially a group right now, but it needs to be like Andrea's Therapy, whatever. Like, and you have a page, and you post random shit. Like, you already do it for Rising Hope, so. You have so one of the things that Think and Grow Rich talks about is being like specialized. Like, you are already specialized in a certain category, so therefore you can run with it. Like, I'm not specialized with anything. I'm all over the fucking place. So that's the downside for me in creating a personal brand and stuff. So you can just throw content out there and help people, and like, hey, blah blah blah.
I'm open to sitting with that, I guess. Which the not monetizing part makes sense. Like, I don't have to start that way, but as an employee, I don't even. Yeah, I need to look into things.
You can start with a page, and then if the page works out well and you feel healthy about it, then you can work into a group, and then if the group works well, then you can work into a paid group, and then so on and so forth. I mean, you don't have to do everything overnight, but I mean, having your MSW or whatever, having a master's, like, you should have your page. Like, how many people in the world have their masters? What's the population percentage?
Mm-hmm.
How do you not know that? A lot? A lot of people have their masters?
A decent amount.
10%?
I don't know. Well, no, I don't know that. You love numbers. I don't care.
I like knowing how rare things are.
Okay, well, we'll look into it.
And then you can tell everybody. After I tell you, probably. Alright, well, I think this is winding to an end. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And, if you found value, or which probably didn't this episode, because it's really not a whole lot going on, but feel free to share it with somebody that could use it. And you can follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, Awakening Warriors Podcast.
Subscribe on YouTube.
And yeah, tell us what you learned in 2023 about yourself / what you accomplished. Well, cool. See ya.
Bye.